The CBC wasting your money on their own glory. That is the topic of tonight's byline. We've got details on what the state broadcaster wants to spend your money on. And I have to tell you, you might be underwhelmed, really underwhelmed, and maybe annoyed. Not only did this party cost more than CBC claims, it appears that one of the main goals was to generate Twitter traffic about George Strombo. You remember this party, the one where the real people were kept behind metal barricades on a public street. Oh, the little people can't be seen with them. Meanwhile, inside, Strombo was partying it up with top celebrities from foreign countries. You know, people that don't live here and won't boost his ratings by watching. But hey, he got to hang with really cool people.
I like partying with people, you know, so tonight I come and I get to see my friends. I just want to be around cool people who do cool things.
Oh, we got to hang out with the cool people and boost his Twitter traffic. After all, Hubie Lacroix, the CBC press, well, he had told us that this launch party was to create a buzz about George. Turns out it was a Twitter-obsessed party. More on that later. Now, when we first told you about this party, we asked how much it cost. CBC wasn't willing to say. Ezra Levant even called them up directly to find out, was this less than $1 million, more than $1 million? They didn't want to say. And then Lacroix, Hubie, he went before a Commons committee.
For the record, has been established around $225,000.
No, sir. 64,000 people. $64,000 if you do the ad.
Well, not quite. Here is the invoice from just one group, Veritas Communications. They charge $72,372. Other invoices, including one for the hall and one to give Strombo 4 bodyguards for the night, have had all the numbers removed. You don't get to know how much this costs. CBC claims some information has to be kept secret because it reveals their creative programming or journalistic endeavors, the old 68.1 claim. They also claim other details must be kept secret because to release them would be detrimental to the economic interest of Canada and the competitive interest of a government department or agency. But no, they aren't the state broadcaster. We do know that they paid more than $60,000 for food, drink, and the hall rental. Well, not really a hall. It's not like they rented the local Knights of Columbus Hall or got a deal from the Lions Club. Nope. Strombo parties in style at the Hazelton Hotel, which describes itself as Canada's first 5-star hotel located in Yorkville, the city's finest and most fashionable downtown district, surrounded by high-end retail stores. He does look out for the little people, doesn't he? Now, while the plebes, the peons, the great unwashed were kept outside behind the barricades, they were allowed to watch what was happening on the giant Twitter wall. You know, when pages aren't redacted in this stack that we've got, it's mostly discussion about Twitter. Here's one of the things they said. The publicity strategy was subtle to invite key media to join in the celebration with George and to witness his strong network of influencers and talent. Media were encouraged to tweet and talk about the party, but photography was controlled by CBC inside the event and released strategically through wire image at the end of the evening. Did you get that? Media were allowed to tweet about this, and CBC controlled and released the photography. I mean, that just sounds crazy. That sounds controlling. It sounds like all the things CBC and the consensus media never shut up about when it comes to the Harper government. Of course, when media outlets do go to a Harper government event, they're allowed to use their own cameras to take their own pictures. I know, I've been to them. But not at George's party. There, CBC controls all the pictures. Remember this next time you hear someone over at the state broadcaster talking about how controlling the Harper government is. The CBC is worse. No pictures for you, just Twitter. And given all the tweets about the CBC, well, they declared this party a success. Here's what they said in the report. They said the online Twitter engagement in and around the party indicated that both George and CBC Live saw a significant spike in activity as a result. Well, check out this chart. See this? On the left, CBC Live. On the other side, Strombo. Strombo had no Twitter popularity ahead of the party, and then, wow, Look at that spike. At least 3 days of being popular on the Twitter machine before dropping back down to zero. Now, this chart isn't mine. This chart is from the CBC and is used to justify the spending of more than $72,000. We still don't know what this thing cost completely, but obviously it's more than $72,000, which is already more than CBC will admit to. Consider this. The average Canadian income right now for someone who's employed and working, and this is according to Stats Canada's Labour Force Survey, they make an average income of $44,000 a year. CBC just spent more than 1.5 times that amount to boost Strombo's Twitter traffic for 3 days. This was a party about praising the glory of the CBC. You can see it in the guest list. While they claim it was about getting media buzz for George's show, there were more personal friends and CBC staffers invited than media. More personal friends and CBC staffers than the celebrities they played up. Nearly 700 people were invited with a target of having 400 people cross the threshold. The hope was for 15 A-list celebrities, 65 B-list, 45 C-list. Meanwhile, they were expecting 50 CBC talent folks, 20 CBC VIPs, 10 people from Strombo's show, 30 personal friends of Strombo, 20 personal friends of CBC Vice President Christine Stewart. A party for the glory of Strombo, the CBC, and his Twitter feed. You paid for it. Most Canadians will not earn in a year what this party cost for one night of getting foreign celebrities boozed up at the fanciest hotel in Canada. Was it worth it for you? We should know the full amount that this party cost, but despite spending much of 2011 under pressure for their secrecy, CBC still hasn't got the message. It's time to open up. And that's the byline.